Welcome, everyone. Let's take a journey together. We'll start with something you already know well, multiplication, because at its heart, it's just a faster way to add the same number over and over. That simple idea of repeated addition is what naturally leads us to squares and cubes, where we multiply a number by itself. From there, we'll give that idea a name, the base and the exponent, which together unlock the powerful shorthand we call exponential form. But numbers don't just grow, we'll also explore what happens when we flip them, starting with the reciprocal of rational numbers, which then opens the door to understanding negative exponents and how they connect to tiny fractions. Together we'll learn the core laws of exponents that make giant calculations simple, how to handle the power of a quotient when fractions get involved, and the beautiful logic behind fractional indices, where exponents become roots. We'll practice evaluating tricky powers, simplifying complex expressions, and even solving for unknown exponents like a puzzle. And you'll see why this isn't just abstract math. Exponents are the secret language behind everything from computer memory and viral trends to the way your savings grow over time. Let's begin. So we just wrapped up our big picture look at exponents and powers. Now let's zoom right into the very first building block, exponential form. Follow along while I draw this. Exponential form is simply a shortcut, guys. Instead of writing the same number over and over in a long multiplication chain, we use a base and a tiny raised number called the exponent. The base tells you what number is being multiplied, and the exponent tells you how many times it appears. You can see on the board that -3 times itself 4 times becomes -3 to the power of 4. Notice the parentheses, they make sure the negative sign gets multiplied too. Same idea with fractions, 3/7 multiplied 3 times is 3/7 cubed. And when we actually crunch the numbers, 5 to the 4th power means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which works out to 625. For the fraction 2/5 raised to the 5th, you multiply 2/5 by itself 5 times, that gives 32 on top and 3125 on the bottom. This is the language we'll use for everything coming up. Now that we know how to write numbers in exponential form, let's talk about their reciprocals, because you'll bump into these all the time when exponents go negative. Let me put this in front of you. The reciprocal of any number is simply 1 divided by that number. It's like asking, what do I multiply this by to get 1? So if we start with 5 cubed, that's 125, its reciprocal is 1 over 5 cubed, which is 1 over 125. Easy enough, right? The board shows it step by step, 5 cubed, then 1 over 5 cubed, then 1 over 125. This is the basic idea of a reciprocal, and it's going to get a little twist when we bring fractions into the mix. So we just handled the reciprocal of a whole number like 5 cubed, 1 over that number. But what if the number itself is already a fraction? Here, look at the board for a moment. The reciprocal of a fraction is beautifully simple, you just flip it. The top number becomes the bottom, and the bottom number becomes the top. Take 2/7, its reciprocal is 7/2. Why? Because 2/7 times 7/2 gives 14/14, which is 1. That's the check. So whenever you see a fraction and you need its reciprocal, just swap the numerator and denominator. This little flip is going to be super handy when we start dealing with powers of fractions. Building right on that flip idea, what if the fraction already has an exponent outside the parentheses? Take a look at this picture. The rule stays just as clean, you still flip the fraction, but you keep the exponent exactly where it is. So the reciprocal of 8/13 to the 6th power is 13/8 to the 6th power. You don't touch the exponent at all, it stays outside, applying to the flipped fraction. The board shows it clearly, start with 8 over 13 raised to the 6, and the reciprocal is 13 over 8 raised to the 6. This sets us up perfectly for what's next, where we'll see that exponent actually distribute to both parts of the fraction. Remember how we just flipped a fraction and kept the exponent? That's because the exponent actually belongs to both the top and the bottom, and that's exactly what power of quotient is all about. I'll show you what I mean. Picture this. When you have a fraction inside parentheses with an exponent outside, you can give that exponent to the numerator and the denominator separately. Let's work through the example on the board. 1/3 x, all squared. Step 1. Write it out. Step 2. Apply the square to the top, the bottom, and the x, 1 squared over 3 squared, times x squared. Step 3. Simplify. 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, so we get 1/9 x squared, or x squared over 9. And here's why that works. Raising a fraction to a power means multiplying it by itself, so the numerator and denominator each get multiplied that many times, which is why the exponent applies to both. Alright, we've given exponents to numerators and denominators. Now let's flip the script and put a fraction I in the exponent itself. Stay with me on this one. A fractional exponent like 1/n means taking the nth root of the base. The denominator of that little fraction tells you which root to take. Look at the board, 4 to the 1/2. The 2 in the denominator says to square root, so this becomes the square root of 4, which is 2. And here's a little trick to never forget this: x to the 1/n equals the nth root of x. Why does that make sense? A fractional exponent like 1/n unders a whole number exponent n, so it must mean the nth root. Here's one for you. What is 9 to the 1/2? Pause the video and work it out. Ready? It's 3, because the square root of 9 is 3. So we just saw that a denominator of 2 means square root, but what if the fraction has a numerator that isn't 1? Let me sketch this out for you. When the exponent is a fraction like m/n, you take the nth root first, and then raise the result to the power of m. The board walks through 16 to the 3/4. Step 1. Write it. Step 2. The 4 in the denominator says 4th root, so we rewrite as the 4th root of 16, all cubed. Step 3. Evaluate the root. What number times itself for times gives 16? 2, because 2 to the 4th is 16. Step 4. And now raise that 2 to the power of 3, 2 cubed is 8. And here's a little trick: x to the m/n equals the nth root of x, all raised to the m. Quick heads up, don't mix this up with a negative exponent. Here the fraction is in the exponent telling you root and power, not in the base telling you reciprocal. Now that we've got fractional exponents under our belt, let's put multiple rules together, starting with multiplying powers that have the same base. Watch as I put this up on the board. When you multiply powers with the same base, you keep the base and add the exponents. Here we have 5 cubed times 5 to the -6. The base is 5 in both, so we add the exponents. 3 plus -6 gives -3. So this becomes 5 to the -3. Now, a negative exponent means take the reciprocal, just like we learned earlier. So 5 to the -3 is 1/5 cubed, which is 1/125. The board shows the whole chain, product, add exponents, negative exponent becomes reciprocal, and final answer 1/125. We just added exponents when multiplying, so naturally, dividing powers with the same base means we subtract. Follow along while I draw this. 3 to the 8th divided by 3 to the 5th. Same base of 3, so we keep the base and subtract the bottom exponent from the top. 8 minus 5 gives 3. That leaves us with 3 cubed. And 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, 27. The board lays it out cleanly. Division becomes subtraction in the exponent, and then we just evaluate. Notice how this is the flip side of the product rule. One adds, the other subtracts. Alright, We've handled negative exponents and we've handled fractional exponents. Now let's see what happens when they team up in the same problem. Take a look at this picture. We need to evaluate 27 to the negative 1/3. The negative sign tells us reciprocal, and the 1/3 tells us cube root. The order doesn't matter too much, but a clean way is to deal with the negative first by flipping it into the denominator, 1/27 to the 1/3. Now the 1/3 means cube root. What number times itself 3 times gives 27? That's 3. So we get 1/3. Here's one for you. What is the cube root of 27? Pause and answer. It's 3, exactly what we used. So we just tackled a negative fractional exponent. Now let's work one with a positive fraction that has a numerator bigger than 1. Let me put this in front of you. 8 to the 2/3. The denominator 3 says cube root, and the numerator 2 says square. You can do these in either order, but taking the root first usually keeps numbers smaller. So we rewrite as 8 to the 1/3, all squared. The cube root of 8 is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and then 2 squared gives 4. The board shows the flow, to original expression, split into root then power, evaluate the root, then the power. Here's one for you. What is 8 to the 2/3? Pause and try it. Ready? It's 4. And now, let's bring everything together with an equation where the unknown is up in the exponent. Here, look at the board for a moment. We have 5 to the 6th times 5 to the 2n plus 1 equals 5 to the 18th. Since the bases are all the same, they're all 5, we can use our product rule on the left side, add the exponents. 6 plus 2n plus 1 gives 2n plus 7. So the left side becomes 5 to the 2n plus 7. Now we have 5 to the 2n plus 7 equals 5 to the 18th. If the bases are equal, the exponents must be equal too. So 2n plus 7 equals 18. Subtract 7 from both sides, 2n equals 11. Divide by 2, n equals 5.5. The board walks through each step and combine, set equal, solve. Here's one for you. What must the sum of the exponents on the left equal? Pause and answer. It must equal 18, matching the right side.